Welcome everybody to another episode of Into the Storm. And first of all, I want to thank Trisha, my sister over here, for the production of this podcast, and my nephew Trey for the engineering. And we have Liz over here, who is our newest member to the team. And today we have a special guest brought to us by our friend Rachel Drummond. And we have Lauren Rosin of EXP. So, Lauren, why don't you give us a little bit of feedback on not feedback, but a little bit of history on what brought you to Arizona, and then we'll get into your successes.
So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I was about to turn 20, and I realized that there was a whole world out there that I needed to explore. So I did what any person would do, is pack up their car and drive cross country to a place I've never been.
Did you know it was going to be Arizona, or you're just like, we'll see where I stop?
Yeah, ASU won me over because they had Palm Walk. So I did 2 years of college in Brooklyn College, and then I came out here and waited tables and kind of just put myself through school, and I loved it. I was like rollerblading around campus. I thought I was in an episode of like 90210, you know.
Palm Walk is that, though.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of rollerblades back then, though. That's dating us, by the way.
What years were you there, Lauren?
2000.
Oh, yeah.
You're a lot younger than us.
Yeah. Palm Walk was still there, though.
My car broke down in Tempe, like on University and Rural, and so I was like, it's a sign I should be here.
Yeah.
I didn't think 22 years later I'd still be here.
Right. Well, there's a reason why you're here, right?
Yeah, it's awesome, and there's parking, and like you can get your car washed while they valet it at the mall. I don't know. It's pretty awesome.
Exactly. That's true, by the way. Do you still go back to New York very often, or no?
Yeah, I visit.
Yeah. You have family there and stuff?
I have my boyfriend's family there, so there's like 150 of them in his immediate Italian family, you know.
Wow.
So
That's quite a few.
Like fun.
That's quite a few. So when you got out of school, what did you do? Did you go straight into real estate, or did you?
So I just promised, I was like, okay, no more waiting tables. Like, you got to get like a real career. So my neighbor told me, come call mortgage leads. And I said, well, what's a mortgage? Right? I grew up in an apartment in Brooklyn. I've never heard of this term. And so I got into mortgages, and this is in 2003. And so rates dropped. They were super low. They were like 6%. And so people were super excited. So I was just calling, and like I learned how to refinance. And I just sat there and I like called, and I sat there till like 8, 9 o'clock every single night, just like for years, like 2 years. And that's how I built my whole database.
And did that lead you to go, okay, did you see the other side on the real estate side? Is that where you were like, okay, this looks more like something I'd be more interested in?
Yeah, I just saw like they really made like, I thought realtors made more money. And I also thought it was a little bit more fun. So
Do you still think they make more money?
Realtors?
Yeah.
The ones on my team do.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, they make
Not
more commission.
all of them.
Yeah.
So I got into the mortgage business, and then I really realized you have to have a specialty in anything you can do so that you can really focus. So my specialty was investors. So I really made an effort to really understand their business and how to do tax strategies and legal strategies, because I got like this crazy tax bill. Like a year out of college, I owed like $36,000 in taxes, and I was W-2'd. So I was making money, but I had to pay some money, and I needed to figure out how to protect it from the IRS. So, you know, the government, it's a board game, and you just got to learn how to play it. So I learned how to do tax strategies and legal strategies. I learned short sales and the REOs, and then I got into trustee sales in 2009. So I quit lending when the market crashed, and I jumped into trustee sales. It's the Wild West. Have you ever seen the situation downtown?
Oh, yeah.
So
I've been there, too.
It's outside the courthouse, and there's like concrete picnic tables, and there's like 10 trustees yelling off auctions of all this property, and it's insanity. So I bought pretty heavy for 5.5 years. I had drivers and bidders.
So let me just get into that for a second before we get into all the other stuff. How do you get into that world, though? Because if you're not in that space and you try to go down there and do stuff, you don't get any good deals, and you end up buying something that nobody else wanted because it wasn't worth anything. So how'd you get into the space and like get into like being able to hang with the people?
I started going there, and like I was so funny. I was always wore a suit because I was always young and I wanted to be respected, right? So I'd go sit in like Tiffany and Bosco's like law firm office in my suit, and I wouldn't talk to anyone. And all these like guys have been there forever. Like, who are you? Who are you? I'm like, I'm fine. Don't mind your own business, you know? But I kept going, and I was like studying it kind of, and I was sitting there. And so eventually I started talking to people, and you know, you realize you rub elbows and you kind of, all right, you could have this one, I'll take this one kind of situation. But then once the market really crashed, at the peak, there was 600 to 1,200 foreclosures a day.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a point where like those guys can't control the auctions anymore. And so it got big. And then really burnt myself out with that. It was really fun. It was like addicting. I'd be on vacation in Hawaii, waking up at like 4 a.m. to work on the list to get the bids out. And like, it was like addicting.
So you had people going there and doing the bidding for you, and they call you and be like, all right, this is where you're at the house. And then you'd be on the phone with them waiting for them to tell you if you got it or not.
Yeah, basically like at night the list would come out, see what's still going. I kind of go through it, decide what I like, narrowed it down to about 30. Then I would do title checks, and then I'd send out my drivers. So in the morning, as soon as sun came up, the drivers would go out and like check on the properties, do drive reports, and then they'd send those in. So in the morning, I get the title reports, make sure we're buying like the right liens, right, not the second liens, and stuff like that. So I had whole operations, and then I had 2 bidders at the courthouse and one at the law firm. It was so crazy at the courthouse. You had to have multiple bidders.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gave them a number, but they had like a $10,000-$12,000 range, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how we like did it. And so basically, you put up $10,000 in Arizona, and the money's due the next day, so you have 20 hours to sell that property for cash. Wow.
So did you ever get burned though? Did you get to a point where you're like, if the market turns during all those houses, but you didn't? So did you flip them right away?
So sometimes we would assign them, so we'd sell them for a fee. But then, no, we did flip a lot. So I flipped like 30 to 40 a year for about a decade.
Damn.
It was fun.
Jeez. So when did you decide to go like traditional real estate then?
I never did. I was like that lone agent, like I'm going to be by myself forever, you know? Like I think I only stopped TCing 5 years ago.
Really? So you've been just hustling yourself this whole time? And then, But you joined, what, Keller Williams?
No, so I was with West USA Realty for a long time. I was like their top agent, which is great, but the problem is it's a small brokerage, and when you're the top agent, you're not learning or growing. So like here I am spending like so much money on coaches and classes and this, and so like I wasn't getting the support that I really, really needed. But it was, it was good. I had my own office and everything, so I finally got it. So what happened was I burnt myself out. 2011, I got my master's in real estate development from ASU, overachiever, and I sold 134 homes that year with no assistant. So I basically almost killed myself, and I just packed up and went to California, and got my license there, and I started interviewing with like all these heavy hitters and stuff. They're big teams, and they were like, "What did you build in Arizona?" And I was
like addicted to the hustle.
Addicted.
That's like what you are. Like, you're like a junkie.
Money's not even like money just follows the hustle.
You're like a deal junkie.
I'm like
was that like an inherent thing, or did you grow up in a highly competitive, high energy family, or
I grew up with like crazy loving hippie parents that were really irrational with their money. And so we had a lot of money, and then we didn't have a lot of money, and I really didn't like that. So I just decided that if I just made money, I could be comfortable. So my younger sisters and I are like all like this.
Really?
Yeah, we're all just like make our money, don't ask anyone for nothing, like save up your money, buy rentals, buy more rentals. So
how many rentals do you have now?
I have a handful.
Okay. I knew you wouldn't tell me the specific number. So you went to California, and you started working there. Where'd you work there?
So I just got my license there, and I came back here. I took their advice. They're like, go back, build it. You really need to build a team. So I hired a team building coach 6 years ago, and that's how I started the team. And it was like out of my living room, and I had my agents sitting around my dining room table doing our weekly meetings, and it was, it got to that.
Right.
And it just kept growing and growing. And I realized, like when I built my team, it was because I needed help. I was so busy. And about a year into it, I went to a Tony Robbins event and had my epiphany. And, my epiphany was like, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for them. Like, I'm so blessed that I could wake up every single day and, like, lead these people and teach them to be successful and proud of themselves. And I'm helping the title companies and the home inspectors and, like, the lenders. And, like, everybody's feeding off of what I'm building. So once I had that, like, shift in my own mindset, all the bad realtors on the team kind of left. And, like, I started really attracting the right people. Like our team values are really like we're family, we help each other, we're reliable, we're very educated, and we have a lot of fun. So like now if you don't fit in my core values, like I can't have you on my team, and it's not about money. It's literally about like, are you a good fit?
Right. You've gotten to the point in your career where you get to pick and choose who you want to roll with, who you're going to help, and who you're going to coach. Who do you, when you hired the coach, would the coach come in and he would basically dictate and tell you like how to run your meetings and how to coach your own people and help them with their day-to-day activities? Is that what he did?
The first thing he did was like, you need a buyer's agent. Like you got to stop showing homes. Because like to build a team, you can't be on competition with your agents. It's not fair to them. So like all my buyers go to the agents on the team. And so once I was able to like not work buyers, all of a sudden I had more time to work on the business, right? And so then I had time to like, I brought in a full-time TC, and then we built out a TC program. And so like I had more time to actually work on the business. I still focused on listings, and I still do focus on listings for now, slowly trying to get out of that. But you know, that's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Because every listing is 5 deals, right? If you do it right. You know, with the marketing, you have sign calls, Zillow calls, your open houses, neighborhood knocking on doors. So like every single listing should be 5 more deals. So that's why I make sure to try to win those.
Wait, explain that one more time.
So if you get a listing and you market it properly, you should get 5 more deals from that. You should get a referral from the seller. You should get the neighbor's house to list. You should get the guy that called the sign and wants to buy, or the guy from the neighborhood called the sign that wants to list. So like there's just so much opportunity with a listing. Mm-hmm. And the marketing is really important.
So when you sold 138 homes, or whatever that number was, how did you get all those deals?
A lot of auction, trustee, and then
Okay.
investors. So the thing about investors are, once you make one of them money,
Okay.
you get all their, so like, you know, I had one guy, he was actually a realtor, but every year I listed 30 homes for him.
Wow.
But he was a realtor, but I was like, listen, I'm keeping you out of court. I'm protecting you. I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. You know, like he did one deal by himself, got sued for the roof. I was like, I think you should just pay me. Let me help you.
Right.
So I'm really big on like protecting the clients and being safe and like doing things right.
Right.
So you can sleep at night.
So your success now stems from obviously your coaching, but it also, you're very passionate about your move to EXP.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Well, okay. The move to EXP was very unexpected for me. But once I finally like looked at the model, I realized like there's no other place for a team to be because of the model. The model is literally built to help people below you and get support from the people above you. And so it's really a collaboration group, which is, for me, it's helped me almost double my business, actually more than double.
So what do you think like the misconception is from like when you go to talk to people that don't really understand it, like what is like their takeaway or like the questions they have for you about EXP?
I think like it's like, right, realtors have been trying to fight Zillow for how long? I hate Zillow. I'm not going to be friends with Zillow. Okay, keep fighting the beast. Let me know how that works out for you, right? Like I'm friends with Zillow. Zillow makes me a lot of money. I make Zillow a lot of money. So it's kind of like that concept. It's like, I think people don't like change. Change is scary. They don't actually know what the model looks like. It's all hearsay, like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. It's this and this. It's like, it's not a scheme. It's literally like we're here to help each other build business, do more business. The more business we do, the more the company's valuable. And EXP's model is 49% of the profits go back to the agents. So we're making rev share, we're making stock options. That's just like the chump change to me. Like to me, it's like the partnership. So Jen Wayner, she did about 200 million last year, 400 units. She's my senior partner. So like her and I brainstorm every other week. I'm on a mastermind with 30 team leads around the country in our group. So EXP is different though. It really matters who you join and who your sponsor is. So it's super important who you decide to be your sponsor and who you work under. Like what would it do for your career if I was your sponsor at EXP and you had access to me and my masterminds and events and training and role playing and things that I allow them to join?
Wow. So was Jen like the first one to kind of jump over and then create? I know that she was already successful beforehand. Robbie, she goes to EXP, and then she's like now starting to bring people underneath her, and so she was the OG, basically the original person. Okay, and then you came after her, and then Shelby DiBiase came after you, and then a bunch of other.
I got Lala Smith, the Borland team, Joe and Courtney Borland. Melanie Sanders is coming over, and I got some other good surprises. I can't rat anyone out just yet, but they're all coming. Yeah, you can't. Like the thing is, like as a leader, your job is to grow other leaders. There's no real estate team model that supports that. But EXP does, because EXP is like, okay, you want to grow your own team? Okay, you can go off on your own. You're still in my downline. And now I'm going to help you bring on 4 people. I'm going to teach you to bring it. Because now if they build a big network that's all under you, you're still benefiting. So EXP is set up to help each other be successful. And I've never been in such an environment where everyone's sharing their playbook. Yeah, that's the cool part. That's what you're actually the first person that I think I've really talked to deeply about this. So I kind of had like the other thought process of like I didn't really I understood why like a Jeff Seabach would go there, because he's got a ton of people underneath him, and like it's like you make money off everybody else, but you already were, but now it's just a little bit more. But the incentive to like coach and to teach and to train makes so much more sense if you bring
more people in, why wouldn't you? It's just like if you owned like a branch for a mortgage company and you brought people in, you want everybody to succeed, because the more they all succeed, the more everybody makes. So it makes a lot of sense in that capacity. It's funny you were talking about most of the people you named off were women.
Okay, John Glutch.
Oh, John.
Austin Seaback.
Both power.
I have another powerhouse, but he's not signing till next week, so I can't say.
Oh.
But he's from KW.
Oh, no. Did you bring Austin in too?
Yeah, he's in our group.
He is. God, that kid's so impressive.
He's so impressive.
Is he 25?
He just runs an operation. Like, he has a lot of VAs.
Tons of VAs, right?
Yeah, I respect
Virtual
him.
assistants, everybody. Not veterans, but
sorry, virtual assistants.
Yeah. But John Glutch too. I mean, he's been a beast forever.
So those are the people I'm literally on a mastermind with every Monday at 10 a.m. are all those people. So if anybody ever wants to be my guest, just send me a DM or an email and I'll stick you on the invite. It's Mondays at 10. And then for the team leads, we do a mastermind like every other Wednesday. That's my favorite because that's like a high level conversation. Like we're talking about like systems and KPIs and how to track agents and how to motivate agents and, you know, setting. So that's my favorite because that's at like a different level that I've never experienced before. I've never been around teams. So I'm like drinking the Kool-Aid. You know? Right.
Because you've been running solo for all these years and all of a sudden like, wait a second, maybe this is actually kind of nice. It is nice to lean on people too.
And why reinvent the wheel? Like our business is not that hard.
Right.
Like I'm sorry, like it's not like we're not really reinventing the wheel over here.
Right.
We just so it's just like duplicate, copy, and duplicate and keep going. And so, like the Sanders team came over. She needs an independent contract agreement. So what? She's gonna go spend 6 months with an attorney and $10,000. I'm like, here's mine.
Right.
She's like, really? I was like, yeah.
Who does all your? So do you guys share like transaction coordinators and stuff like that too? Or?
No, I run my own. Like we're all our own teams, like our own business. So I'm my own business. So I own a whole branch. I'm on Shea and Hayden. But the difference is like with KW, if you want a market center, it's going to cost you like a couple $100,000 a year in franchise fees. My cost to start my own branch of EXP was $149.
Jeez.
So like it's designed like EXP is not a brokerage. You got to think of it as a platform to build your own brand and your own brokerage. So that's what I love about it. And I'm in multiple states and it's easy because of they're everywhere. They're in every state. And then we help each other. Like we help each other get the Zillow Flex accounts. I'm like, okay, I know this guy over here. And we know. So like when the REOs are back, like we're going to get them.
Right.
These solo agents out there are going to, the thing is with the solo agents is they're going to go away because they can't compete. Like you can't go to a listing appointment and win if you're going against me and I have 20 people in my office. You want all 20 of us or you want this solo agent? So I think like collaboration and scaling and like leverage. So I'm really big on like, the thing is, I wish there was teams when I joined 20 years ago into real estate, but like, think about it. You join my team. So now you're tagging me on all your posts. Now all of a sudden now all of a sudden you're getting 700 new friend requests. All of a sudden people know you. Like you're making offers on properties and we all know each other. Oh, can you help my agent out? Let me know what I need to beat, right? So we're all buddies.
Right.
So like we're just going to get bigger and bigger and stronger. And so like that's really the EXP movement. So
has Jen been like your biggest like partner for as far as like systems and processes and how to like scale?
Yeah, she runs on EOS. There's a book called Traction. So I'm
a big Traction guy. I tried to implement that here, but Stu and Jeremy didn't want to. A lot of things in Traction we do without it being called Traction, but the EOS system is great. Did Jen uses that and you use that? So Dan Beer and Kyle Whistler, really big heavy hitters out in San Diego. They do about $500 million each a year. Jeez. And they all run EOS. So like all of us big players are like helping each other implement it and like. Okay, so you have like a consultant that comes in like a coach?
I do.
Okay, you
Implementer.
Do. So you're an implementer.
Once a quarter, he comes in and just he meets with my leadership team. But I run level 10 meetings on Thursdays with my whole leadership team now, and like it's really helped me like organize my thoughts. Everything's tracked. I have right. I'm like a real business.
You like seriously? Is Ed using is he doing Traction too?
Yeah, he's working on it.
He isn't. Okay, so I thought he was because I know Nate was talking about that sidebar conversation.
There's just so many business owners that don't track their numbers, and like if you don't track your numbers, like now all my systems literally track how many times my agent sent a text, make a call, send an email. Right. Like I'm so over like everyone just BSing me.
Right.
I'm like now I can
see
what you're doing.
There's zero like chance of like faking the game at this point, right? It's everything has to be held accountable. Well, that's awesome. So did you say you were an EO too? Mm-hmm. Okay, so what brought you into that?
So 4.5, 5 years ago, like here I am running a business, barely can read a P&L, like don't really know what I'm doing, right? Just really good at getting clients. So it was when I saw it and I just was like, wow, I didn't know this was out here. It's a business coaching group basically. And you have like once a month you meet with like 10 of your peers and it's the same group and every month you deal with things. And so it's amazing because it's not a real estate business group. It's like all businesses. And the thing is all businesses have the same issues. People, and then processes.
Right. Yeah.
And then, you know, so like it's all this execution. So like it's all the same stuff, right? All businesses are technically the same.
So like give us an example of like what you guys were talking about like in your last meeting.
So basically what we do is we set rocks, which are goals for that quarter. And so everyone gets 3 to 5 rocks each, and that's what they work on for 3 months. So at the end of 3 months, we come back together. Did you hit your rock? Did you get it? And throughout every Thursday on our level 10 leadership meetings, we say if we're on track or off track for our rock. So if you're off track, you can ask for help. Like, hey, like if you have a goal, it doesn't mean you have to do the goal. It just means you have to get the goal done. So sometimes it's supervising, delegating. So basically what's nice about it is like before EOS, we never felt like we got anything done because it was just like ongoing. But like when like right now, like our goals are due July 14th, we're going to hit them. He's going to come in, we're going to set new ones, but we hit them. So now we're like, oh, okay, we feel accomplished instead of just beating yourself up. Because the last couple of years have just been mayhem.
And they're not like necessarily sales goals, right? They're like hiring, firing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like implementing a new strategy or a process, or that's like what you do, right?
Literally, like this month, like this one is like we're writing SOPs, standard operating procedures for like, we have all new systems, so we need to redo those. So now we're redoing those. So that's our goal. One of them. So the marketing girl has a different one. Everyone has like
Rach has a question.
I didn't want to interrupt your train of thought, but it does sound to me like, and you can expand, if you could expand on this, one of the biggest things, a trend that I'm hearing you just talk about as you've mentioned just these different phases, is you've done an incredible job of leveraging relationships almost in every single phase of your career as you've grown from the trustee sale and leveraging relationships with the people who are already doing it down to West USA and realizing what you need to do going over to San Diego, then leveraging the relationship that you've built friendship first with Jen. And now you're talking about with EO, how you're leveraging these relationships with people who aren't even in real estate to help fine tune your business, to grow. I mean, can you expand on, you know, what was that turning point for you? Have you always leveraged relationships? I mean, leverage is huge in your business, but
it sounds like she's always
really
leveraged relationships.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in relationships. It's a really small industry and world, and just being nice and being in the bigger person in situations. I mean, obviously I've done things in my life I'm not like proud of, but you know, you learn from those and you just learn to like be more level-headed and realize like every realtor you're probably going to run into again. You know, when the market crashed and all the REO agents were such jerks, like all of them are struggling now. None of them are doing good because they were jerks 10, 15 years ago. We remember that.
Right.
So it just, I think just like, and I don't know, just you got to remember, like, you are a product of who you hang out with. So I hang out with people that are more successful than me so I can become more successful. That's really my thing. And I leverage, relationships 100%. Because don't you want to own businesses with your friends? So like Jen Wayner and Seabach and I, we built a title company.
Right.
So like the three of us have that together. And it's really nice because that business runs itself because we partnered with a title, like Magnus Title, so we're partners.
Angela, shout out to Angela.
Exactly. So like they own 51%, we own 49%. They run it. You know, we feed the business, and so it's like this great product of how to build a business off your existing business. So like there's just so many ways to create multiple streams of income, which is the true way to wealth. Right.
So let's talk about that a little bit then, because we talked about when you have rental properties, obviously, do you do short-term rentals as well?
Yes, I do. So I think if you're going to start with rentals, start with a long-term hold, and just know Airbnbs are more work. That's why you make more money. So I started with long-term holds and eventually got some Airbnbs that I've been dabbling with. So it's been fun. I flip a lot. That's my number one rule is for every 2 flips, buy 1 rental. So if I listened to myself, I wouldn't be sitting here because I'd actually retired. But here we are.
Yeah. Well, we did this a few days ago with another person that was very good at that part. And the whole time I was like listening to I'm going to say I listened to every word he said, but like a lot of times I started dozing away because I was like, this guy told me all this stuff like 4 different times over like the last 5 years, and I didn't do any of it. I wish I should have done, and I would be retired now too.
It's okay. Today's day one.
Today's the day. We're starting today. Can you find me a rental for $317,000?
Probably.
Whatever it was.
So, Lauren, do you manage the Airbnbs yourself, or do you have like a company that?
So I've been managing the app because I wanted to understand it and learn how to maximize it because I'm a really good listing agent. It's really important to have professional photos on Airbnb. I don't know why people
100%.
don't take those. So I manage that part, but no, I'm not. I have someone. So I have a project manager on my team, so he deals with everything in the field, and then we have cleaners that go and clean and check on it. But
How many people do you have working for you?
I don't know, 20,
Jeez, yeah.
20, like 20,
Yeah.
25. Which business?
Exactly. So you have multiple businesses. So you have your rentals. Do you have any rentals in California?
No.
Do you want to? That's a tough market. It's just so expensive, and it's just like in shambles anyways right now. So
I can't buy things off the MLS, so I need to go spend some more time there and find some more off-market deals.
You're San Diego based, right?
Yes, San Diego only right now.
You can't buy them off the MLS because it just hurts your soul.
Hurts my soul.
You need to find them wholesale.
I need a
you need to
deal.
get them 70 cents on the dollar. How would you even get? So at least like you said, Austin, he has the VAs calling and stuff. Do you have anything like that going on as well? You do.
yeah.
You have that too.
So I have a wholesale division, LRT offers.
Mm-hmm.
We run a lot of TV commercials. We run billboards and stuff. So, and then we have ISAs that handle like those calls and stuff. And then once they're like real appointments, and my guys go out. So it's nice. What's nice about those two businesses, RosinTeam, which is the retail real estate business, and LRT offers, the wholesale business, they work hand in hand. So like if somebody wants a cash offer on their home, what do they want? They want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a listing lead. That's a seller lead. So I don't care if they list it or if they want a cash offer. What's nice about my model is it's what's best for the client. The problem with wholesalers is they only have one option for you. Here's your low cash offer, right? With realtors, I'll list it for you. That's my only offer. So with me, you're getting like, hey, which way do you want to go? And then I also, because I flip so much and I run so many projects, I'll go in and do a little bit of work for sellers and like get the house ready so they make more money. Luxury, I'd say 90% of the time I actually have them move out.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm getting them so much more money. Like I'm like, you got those old Tuscan homes built in like 2005. Like literally, you just kick them out, paint it more of like a white, and then I'd stage it. I call it Moroccan modern. Like I think I made it up, but like it looks cool. But like it looks really cool, and then it doesn't look so Tuscan, and it sells.
Yeah.
So like I had one recently. Like we ended up spending like, and like what we'll do is on luxuries we'll go in and do a home inspection because rich people don't fix their homes, and so we got this one. It was like this big. It took us 3 months to get the inspection report cleaned up.
Holy
Because parts and
cow.
stuff are like, like their fridge didn't work. I'm like, we've been using the little one. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So like we go in, we get them to move out and get the house staged, and yeah, it's been getting them a lot of money, and then they tell their friend, and then they tell their friend, and I've always been a word of mouth. I wish I was better at my CRM 20 years ago. That's my biggest regret in my career.
Really?
Oh, for sure. Like everyone calls me, remembers me, social media I'm big on, but like, yeah, the CRM. Now I have one like really dialed in because, I'm the boss. I'm supposed to pretend to have that
You have
together.
to do it if nobody else. If they want them all to do it, you have to do it too.
Yeah, exactly. Or make someone on my team help me. But yes.
Yeah, exactly. You don't do it. You have somebody do it for you. But that's what you get to the point, right? Well, that's the goal, right? To have somebody else do it for you.
Well, the thing is, like, what's your highest and best use?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if your highest and best, if you're like, you got to figure out your hourly rate. If your hourly rate is $200 and it costs you $80 to have someone clean your house, like, you have someone else clean your house.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to look at like where you're. Like, for me to like go work buyers at this point in my life is like it takes away from all the sellers, which creates some more opportunities for the team. It's not the highest and best use of Lauren.
Right. No, I get it. I don't know if I said this on here before. I'm going to say it again, though. But I heard someone say to go look at your bank statements and see how many times you've used Postmates, Uber Eats, Uber in general, Grubhub. We've gone to restaurants just for like dinner, and then like take 25% off of that because 25% of those you really wanted to go to, but most of the time it's because you didn't. And then add your housekeeper, your car maintenance, your lawn service, and it's going to be upwards of 6 figures at least, right? When you can hire one person for $50,000 to do all those things for you every day.
Yeah, I barely eat out.
You can
I
literally
never
have someone
like order
just
lunch.
come and just go get your groceries, take your laundry to the dry cleaners, cook your food, clean your house, do all that. I mean, go run errands for $50,000, and that's a good living for a lot of people that were just maybe just out cleaning houses or doing something like that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's the goal, right? Because your hourly rate is probably way more than that, $1,000 an hour. So it gets to the point where you got to just, that's where basically the coaching programs, those people all just have that life. Their life is the coach. It's the coaching program, right? Because they've done everything and they've proven it and it works, right?
Yeah.
So what about so how active are you in recruiting? I shouldn't say recruiting, but you are recruiting, right? TXP into your team. Like, is it something you do on a day-to-day basis, or is it something like when you find somebody, you go after them? Like, how does that work?
I definitely target people. Like, if I start seeing them, I'll watch them. I'll check their numbers. Like, an agent that's been an agent for like a year that's done like 5 to 8 deals. Like, I'm all over that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'll get you to 30, But like, at least they've done a couple. I'm really not big into realtors that don't own homes. Like, you have to experience the home buying process to really be good at it, I think, because like there's so many emotions in real estate, and so like understanding where the buyers are stressed out and how to help them. So big on that. I am picky who's on the team because I don't want to hang out with assholes. I mean, do you?
No, I don't. I certainly don't.
Amen.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're the same way, I guess, in that whole standpoint. It's like you got to figure out who you want to be with.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, we always say it's like, it's not necessarily the guy who does $100 million, because they're typically worse. They're harder to deal with, and they've, they eat up more of the bandwidth. But you find somebody that might be doing $20 million or $10 million that has potential, but they're cool to hang out with. I'll take that person all day long.
Totally. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, you want coachable people. Like, I am such a student. Like, I take more classes and seminars than my whole team combined. I'm such a dork. And I'm like, you guys, like, 20 years ago, we didn't have all this YouTube training and all podcasts and all this. Like, I can't believe what's at my fingertips, like, nowadays. It's unbelievable. Like, we had to, like, wing it, back then. And
yeah.
So I think there's just so much. And then I think, like, especially someone newer in the business, or even in the last 5 years, because the market's shifting, if you don't align with people that know how to shift through a market, you're going to have a really hard time. Right. You're going to see a lot of like support people in real estate went back into sales because it's been so easy. So you're going to see them coming back to work. You're going to start seeing the TCs getting paid less because we had to overpay them lately to kind of keep them. And so you're going to start seeing like that shift, I think, because payroll's been like crazy price, just trying to.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's poaching everyone. I'm like, don't put anyone on my support team on my website ever again. They don't work here.
Right.
If they put me as a reference, I'll be like, I never heard of them.
Right. No, seriously.
So you got these.
It's big here, too, on the operations side. It's tough.
Oh, I got really poached. I had a girl, I taught her everything, and she was amazing. And I had an iBuyer company come out and like give her some stupid offer, and she could work at home. And 3 months later, she's unemployed, obviously. But
right. I know that's the scary part. Is there was a lot of people that, especially during the refi boom, so to speak, right? Underwriters were getting paid astronomical amounts of money just to make that move, and it was still hard to get them to make that move. And those same people are now jobless. It sucks.
How about lenders and the refinances? I mean,
oh yeah, well,
anyone that focuses on refis is just done. So I'm trying to find those people, like the call centers of Loan Depot just laid off like a couple thousand. So I'm trying to get those people. I'm like, where's those ISAs? So if anyone has a connection, hook me up.
Quicken, JFQ, Loan Depot.
Because those guys
it's
they're all
consumer
trained.
direct, right? They're trained well
on the
too,
phone.
By the way, yeah. I mean,
like,
a lot of those people came from Quicken, where that's like one of the best companies in the world.
Training.
Yeah, for training, right? But it's just. If there's no business, then you're screwed.
Yeah, it's definitely a different time. And that's the thing is, like, you get a newer agent that comes into my team, all of a sudden they leverage the brand, right? The RosinTeam. People know my brand in this town. Now you start making offers, you CC them on your offer, all of a sudden your offers are getting more accepted, right? Like, so you're leveraging that. Then you have the systems, right? Like, to build systems, I spent, $100,000 building systems the last 5 years. And so here's the systems. Here's your 3 logins, and you just go, right? All your drips are built. So, and then you get to leverage people, right? You have like you come in, you're a brand new agent on my team, and you literally look like a baller. You have a transaction coordinator, you got a listing manager, I got a marketing director, like I have an ISA that sets my appointments. Like, you have 4 assistants, and you've been a realtor for 8 months. So like, it just gives you that instant credibility. And like, my whole thing is building up everyone's self-esteem. I'm very big in like, if you boost the salesperson's self-esteem, they will sell more real estate, you know? And so like, that's a thing. And like social media, I'm like, use social media. It's a free marketing tool. It's the best thing.
So what do you do as far as like podcasts? Do you have like specific ones you listen to? Do you like, and what do you go on YouTube and like, what do you check out? What do you search?
I don't really listen to podcasts that much. Every now and then,
It's okay.
I listen.
That's okay.
I listen to a lot of books on Audible. I know it's kind of silly, like Never Split the Difference, Chris Voss, like best negotiating book ever, and it's like a hostage situation, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like those kind of books. I mean, even the old school like Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like, if you're having a hard time in sales, go read that book or listen to it. They've made the world so freaking easy that they read the book to you now.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you know, like back in my day, we had to turn our own page.
And it's easier when you're driving around the car. You can pretty much just do that.
Yeah. I like, but I listen to like Kyle Whistle's like podcasts and stuff. He's a big realtor. He does a lot of video.
Does the EXP have like a podcast? I'm sure you have to have agents in there that are.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just don't.
Yeah, that's not your thing.
So my whole thing about EXP, it's like I said, it's all about the group you're part of. So I am part of the Fast Forward movement. So like everyone in my group is like we work together, we help each other. There's like, I don't know, a couple thousand of them growing.
Wow.
But
and you guys meet how often?
Every Monday, 10 a.m. on Zoom. So if anybody wants an invite to that mastermind, it's so great. It's usually like 3 questions, and they're all like relevant for today market. Because even stuff from 6 months ago, not relevant.
Yeah.
You know, like how to win a listing appointment, how to speak to buyers, how to get them off the ledge, you know, stuff like that.
What do you guys do? And I've never done this before, so excuse me when I do this right now, but it's not going to be comfortable, I don't think. How does it work for like the lending side with you guys? Do you guys like? I know that the EXP partnered with a lender. Do you guys have a specific lender that EXP uses, or do you guys have your own people you pick?
So my business is my own business. So like I personally have like my own business. So like I have my own TCs, my own listing manager. I have my own lending partners. But yeah, absolutely. Lenders are a huge part. My whole thing is like, how can I get money, right? Like where else can I get money from that my business is feeding? So one, lenders, right? Lenders are legally allowed to pay for half of their marketing as long as they're on the marketing. I own the title company. So that's another, you know, if I got my insurance license now. So now I get half the insurance on the insurance that we're selling. By having the license, I get the annual renewal. So instead of just getting like $50 of kickback or something, like I'm actually like I own half the company.
She's never got a kickback.
Never, never from New York. But like so, so you just start realizing like where else can I get money from? You know, so you have lenders, you have title, you have insurance, you have, you know.
So you allow everybody on your team to kind of even though they're on your team, they can pick their own partners, they can do their own thing. No, they can't do that. So you tell them, like, these are my partners. These are the people who pay for the things that provide to us. You have to use one of these people if you want to be part of the team.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, and it's not like, it's not because it's literally because it helps the team, you know?
Yeah. No,
so it just makes sense. And then also, like, you can control the deal. Like, how often do you want to be in a deal that you don't know the other party?
Right.
We do work with other lenders. Like, if they're, like, qualified with the lender that they like, I just tell my agents, call the lender, make friends with them so they don't refer their realtor buddy.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Because that's what's going to happen. Like, so if you call that lender, like, hey, nice to meet you, I'm so excited to work with you, like, that lender's not going to refer that to their buddy. They're going to be like, oh, this realtor is actually proactive.
Right. See, like, Rachel was proactive in getting you here today.
I know. Rachel's always good.
That's good. Good job, Rach. So
I can't say what I'm thinking because of RESPA, but
I've never heard of that before. Anyways.
How do you and Rachel know each other?
Ed, right?
I know her husband through EO, Entrepreneurs Organization of Arizona, yeah.
And Ed and I are
he's
in
a great
networking
guy.
group together ourselves. So.
And what group?
It's called Junto.
Sounds serious.
It is. It's the first networking group ever created by Benjamin Franklin. Swear to God.
He's my uncle.
Benjamin Franklin?
Yeah.
Is he? Different one, probably. It is a very serious group. It's all entrepreneurs. And there's a lot of EO guys, YPO guys.
I love it. I love anything like that. Like anything where you can just brainstorm and like, I just love it. I'm such a growth mindset person.
Yeah, no, this was a really good group of guys that we kind of put together, and it was from everybody was in some sort of like men's charity group of some sort, and then it just kind of like it was like 5 of us, and then it became 8, and then it became 12, and then it became 17, and then the next thing you know we're maxed out at 20, and it's been a great group, and we do the same sort of things. You know, we brought EOS to traction over to our group as well. We did Summit up in Flagstaff, and it's kind of like a accelerated version of a BNI.
It's great.
So it is what it is. Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyways, that's how I know Ed. And then now that led Rachel to come here because of Nate Dominguez, who's also in that group. Do you know Nate?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You got a rapid fire?
I plead
here,
the
Trish?
fifth.
You don't know.
I plead the fifth. I'm just kidding.
I know you do know.
All right. Yes, I do have a rapid fire. Actually, I have several that would be great for you, but I'm gonna narrow it down.
Are you sure?
Yeah. No, I've been dragging them over to a column for her,
Okay.
and there's too many now. So, okay. What is something you can't do?
Oh, me?
Yeah, because clearly you're a very capable person.
I
Or is
cannot.
there something you wish you could do?
I wish I was better at design. So everyone thinks like, because I flip so many homes, I make gorgeous homes, but like that's because I leverage people. Like I actually can't design or create. I'm a great editor, but I wish I could like look at something and like create it, like the kitchen layout.
Right.
You would think I would, but I cannot.
You can't just like replicate what the other people done for you in the other houses.
No.
I know. I figured that's what a lot of people do.
Well, that's different than like truly
I know.
designing, right?
Thanks, Trish.
I won't ride a bicycle if that helps.
You won't?
That's freaking dangerous. I will jump out of an airplane, but I would not. No, ride a bicycle on the street. You're out of your mind. Like maybe on like the beach, but not on the no.
Well, in New York, for
I
sure.
agree with you. Psycho
Not
is
anywhere.
Psycho. All right.
Okay, one more. What advice would you give a high schooler?
So when my one of my best friends turned 18 when I was 18, she's like, "Do you remember what we did when I turned 18?" And I was like, "Shit, right?" This is like 20 years later. She's like, "You took me to the bank, you lectured me on credit, and you made me get a debit card and a credit and a checkbook, and you made me learn how to balance a checkbook."
You don't sound like a very fun friend.
I know, right? I was like, "Oh, I thought that was gonna be a way better story," but like that's so. I think it's super important. Like you can get like credit cards that have limits where like you put $500 and that's the
Yeah.
limit of the credit card. I think that's like a great tool for a high schooler. Like, and they learn like how to pay it back, how to balance it. I think people get themselves in so much debt at like young 20s that it's really hard to dig out. And so I really think like that's where I would focus, is just more like actual like advice on like
Financial
real world
literacy.
financial.
Yeah.
like I can't believe it doesn't exist, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because we had this conversation with Steve Valentine, and he was bringing this up completely. He says, like, I think that there should be a college for people that want to learn how to do real estate. And instead of just going to real estate school, you literally like pay $20,000 and you go to and you basically teach them for a year on how to do it.
But that's what we're doing as team leads.
There you
Because like I
go.
could
She
sit,
did it already.
I can sit in a classroom and like teach you all you want, but until you're in the field, like you're not going to learn. It's that hands-on training. Like you have these brand new agents that want to know everything, and I'm like, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like when COVID happened in March 2020, I had 14 deals canceled that one day. I had 2 sellers refusing to take the earnest money and were suing the buyer to perform. And I'm like, haven't dealt with this one before, right?
Right.
And 20 years in the business, and I'm seeing that. So I just think things are constantly changing.
Did you learn a lot what you apply today in your current business with your master's degree?
No.
Okay, I'm just curious because that.
I got my master's in real estate development from ASU because I want to build stuff in shopping centers and like that. But I've just been so busy in residential for so long that like you can't step away from it. You know,
Right.
we did like, so that's where my focus has been.
The development side in the commercial space is just, I mean, that's the big money, but it's also very difficult to do. And
It's like I already work
That's it
16
all.
hours a day, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to not work 16 hours a day?
That's
or-
the plan.
Okay.
So the goal of building the team was to work less. I swear it will happen.
Is there a time frame on this?
I'm ordering a catamaran in the Amalfi Coast. It's due in 5 years. So yes, I'm out.
Are you really?
I mean, I'm over it. I got no kids.
Well, I was going to ask if you had kids. No, you're
know.
just like,
I would love
I'm
kids. Kids are just, I have 20. They're my team.
out. Right. Well, good for you. Rach, you have any more questions? She's like, okay.
So of all the things that you're involved in, all the things that you're doing, what would you say, if you could choose one and have that be your focus for the next 10 years, what would that be?
I think
Good
really.
question, Rach.
I know, really. I think I really like coaching the team. That's been really rewarding. I wish like I wasn't so much. I wish like the goal is to get out of production completely so I can coach more. So I really think like at the end of the day, that's what gets me out of bed every day. And that's what really drives me. Because like I could kind of stop and be happy where I am, but like I feel like I got all these people that depend on me and trust me. So like I just gotta lead on, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
It seems to be a common theme. Almost like all these super successful, high-performing entrepreneurs, definitely real estate, but even beyond that, they're all about giving back and teaching. And, you know, it's a very, like, selfless, highly aspirational place. It seems like once you get there, you just want to help other people.
It's because you look back on your life and you think about like the few key people in your life that really made a difference, and you're just like, wait a minute, I got to give back, right? It's like the Go Giver, that other books. It's like just share what you know, and so I think that's what happens.
It's the
And I
best book
think
ever.
Yeah.
Go Giver,
One of
it's
Ryan's
so
favorites,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's my favorite book.
I love it.
So I have one more question.
Okay.
So we haven't really talked about your marketing. Like you said, you have a marketing director. Do you focus a lot of your personal attention on marketing, or you're just kind of like, okay, you just let that person
we do a level 10 meeting on Mondays with the marketing department, and then they execute. So like I'm the marketing director, like everything's my brand and I have to protect my brand. But then they have free range, yes. But like I mean, they know my image is positive, happy. Like we're not negative. We're all about building people up and like inspiring people. It's funny, I've really become like a woman leader, you know, even though like my whole life, if you ask me to be on a women's panel, I'm like, no, don't tell me I'm going to be on the regular panel, you know.
Right.
I speak at like Phoenix RIA a lot, the real estate group. I'll be on their panels a lot. But like, it's funny, like there's a lot of powerful women in our business. So I've been attracting that more and more. And I mean, men too, and all of it. So yeah.
Do you do like billboards and you do? Okay, where's your billboards at?
They move, but like 90th and Indian School, 90th Avenue.
Okay.
You know, and like 66 and Greenway. So like those are like get a cash offer in your house. So what I'm doing is I'm creating seller leads.
Gotcha.
So that's the goal, right? I don't care. Like I said earlier, like if you sell or if you list it with me or if you take a cash offer, it's like what's best for you. But yeah, that's my target right now, which really should be everybody's target. Anybody that's been waiting to sell is selling right now. So call them.
That's true, including myself. It's true.
I know. I'm sitting in my house. I'm like, I'm not. I can't.
Right.
Moving would stress me out right now.
So do you have like a plug that you would like to do for your business, or would you just be?
I would like to invite anybody to my Monday mastermind at 10 a.m. Just send me a message and I'll invite you on the calendar and send you the password.
Send you a message through Instagram or Facebook or whatever?
Any of them.
Okay.
Anything. Lauren Rosin, Rosin. You can find me pretty easily if you Google me.
Rosin.
They messed up on Ellis Island when we came over.
Did they? I was supposed to meet you.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. It was nice to meet you too. And we have some more conversations to have because we have a long history apparently. Trish, we good?
We're
okay.
good.
Okay, you're holding the microphone. And she's the first time she's ever had that in her hands.
Usually
It's
I have
throwing
to
me off
stand.
every time I look over.
I'm sorry.
It's like I'm like.
You have any more rapid questions you want?
I can whip one up.
I mean, if you want.
What was
Because
the
you're going to
favorite
edit this,
word?
right?
That's my favorite one. What's your favorite word?
I don't know if I have one.
Damn, it didn't work.
All right, what was the
Is
last?
it always fuck?
Yeah, that was Steve Valentine's
That's
word.
literally everyone's word. Yeah.
All legs too.
Yeah. What was the last gift you gave someone?
I give books out like all the time. Like that's my MO. So I own I just buy a lot of books. I buy things in bulk. Like I'll buy a ton of books and a ton of cards. And so if I'm like, oh, wedding card, got one. Oh, birthday card. Like I'm always prepared. I don't like to run to the store. I'm big on books. I think they're like sentimental. You could always write a little message in them so they can't re-gift them.
Yeah.
Because if you get me a gift card, I'm re-gifting it. I'll promise you right now.
That's actually, that's what we should be doing for closing gift books.
There are some great books. I mean, that's the thing. And then,
Yeah.
like, if you get the right, like, it just shows that you, like, paid attention to them, what they need. Especially, like, with my agents on my team, like, their anniversaries, I always try to give them, like, a book that I think will, like, help them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
One of my favorite things to do, this is about me, not about you,
It's fine.
is my dad gave me a book, and it was a father-son golf book, and he wrote in it, like, right when my son was born. And when my friends, my male friends, some of them, when they have, and I know that they're into golf, and I do that. I write in that book, and I give it to them, and It goes over really well.
They keep it, right?
Yeah, they do, because it is really sentimental, and it's about a story about a father and son, and they're in the golf. So that's my favorite book to give out and write something in.
I love books, yes.
But yeah, the
and
Go-Givers,
sage.
so good.
Go
And
Giver.
what, sage?
I sage. I give out a lot of sage.
Do
We
you?
sage things.
Do you sage all your houses, all the listings?
Oh yeah, me, my car.
Sage yourself.
I got this one that was like this big, and I saged my office the other day, and the girl's like, "You're gonna set the alarms off."
Sure, that was sage.
Good energy, right?
Yeah,
I'm
there
all
you
about
go.
positive
There you go.
energy. We're in sales. Nobody cares how we feel.
There you go.
Everything's great. Everything's amazing. Everything's amazing. Everything's amazing.
Everything's amazing. It's all about mental health nowadays too, by the way. Right?
Yeah, I'm a big.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
Yeah, so I'm big on. I go to the gym every morning. I call it a meeting with myself. So that's how I start my day. And the days that I don't, I'm definitely cranky.
It makes a difference.
Mindset.
Mindset. There you go. God, that's what. I'm gonna end it right there. They came up a lot last night, though. Anyways, thanks again for coming. It was awesome. This was really fun. Thanks, Rach, for having her come, and then thanks to the team over here again.
Woohoo!
Like we always say, please go onto YouTube, Into the Storm, and like and subscribe to our page. Go on to any of the social media platforms. We're on there as well. And comment, like, send these to your friends. We need people to get involved in our social media. I know that this one's going to be huge because she's going to share it with everybody.
That's what I was just about to say.
And this one's going to be big, our biggest one yet. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how you do this. I'm going to hold you to it.
Check in with you.
yeah.
In 2 weeks.
Just giving knowledge, right?
There you go.
Giving people like tangible things they can actually go
Right.
do, right? Like use your CRM.
So go visit her as well, Lauren Rosin, on any of the social media platforms as well. And thank you to everybody, and we will see you soon. Thanks.
All right. Bye, Sullivan.
Peace out.
Bye.